The
Elitist
Pizza
podcast.
All right. So, this episode was pretty wild, man. I it hit the fan really quick. It was nonstop.
Yeah.
Um, you know what? I've been thinking about this all day. Um, I'm about to skip the non-spoiler part like we did last week. I'm throwing that out
Let's
there.
just give our reviews.
Yeah.
I think it's a 10 out of 10.
I was gonna say that. I was thinking about that today. I don't know if you were joking, but
10.
yeah, I'm going 10 out of 10.
No, I'm being legit.
Yeah, I'm going 10 out of 10. That was a great episode. It really had me engaged from start to finish.
So,
And it was really satisfying. It was a really satisfying episode. And they keep like hinting
everything was set up.
they kept hinting at something being revealed, and they just didn't reveal that episode. They did such a good job of
I
that.
have to tell him. Yep, and everything was like you thought that the reveal was gonna be like 30 seconds away throughout the entire episode,
Right.
but you never get it. And none of it seems cheap. It seems like that is actually how it would happen.
Right.
So
All right. So let's just get straight into it, dude. Oh my gosh, it went crazy.
Okay, so-
I do have to say, what real quick. I don't know if I don't know if you remember. I did plant the seed in your mind. No, I didn't. But I did suggest that, like, maybe like episode 4 or 5. I did suggest that the immortal would come back.
yeah, but that was also kind of like, I mean,
His name is the
they took
immortal.
that and they took his head.
Yeah.
Like grabbed his head and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they're at least trying something.
But
So in the beginning, Debbie wakes up and Nolan's just chilling there. He's like, "You have to trust me." And he's like, she's not hearing it, and he just like flies through
the roof.
ceiling, the roof, which kind of like a dick move, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like that. You have to repair that.
The government dudes are like, the dudes that are like invisible, they pop up and they're like, oh yeah, we gotta move you. And Cecil's like, yeah, we kind of knew that he killed the Guardians anyway. We're just trying to figure out how to beat him. And then Cecil pretty much throws it out there that this idea that there's only one person that could possibly stand toe to toe against Omni-Man.
Yeah. And then Debbie's like, "No."
No, not my boy Mark. We see Mark, man. He's in the car ride with Amber and William. This man's just tore up, and he's just like all sad because she broke up with
Gotta
him.
believe. Have you ever been in like a few hour car ride like that? I've been in a
Yeah,
few of those.
sad, just
Where
looking
it's
out
like
the window.
two of the people don't want to talk to each other. The worst part of the position of being is William.
Oh,
I've
for
been in
sure.
that position too. Be like, oh, why don't you guys just
Say something,
be okay with each other? Yeah.
but
Yep.
man. Then we see. I'm going all over the place. I saw it like as soon as we stopped streaming. I just popped it on because it came out around that time. So I just
Oh, I
popped it
didn't know
on
that.
like right after we stopped streaming. Well, it was actually out during the stream for me at least. So it might have been the same for you if it comes at Eastern time or whatever. We probably could have just watched it together, but there'd be no reason in doing that. Just sitting there being like,
Yeah.
hmm.
It might be kind of cool, but
Yeah,
but then that might be like that's stuff that we could talk about here.
yeah. So we couldn't, yeah, would,
Yeah.
um,
That would be like what we'd upload to the text videos.
yeah.
For the patrons.
The live reaction to episodes, but my recollection of it's gonna be a little all over the place, but I mean we're just gonna talk about what happened anyway. So I do remember that
Yeah.
shortly after, it's still more exposition about Nolan's plan and how Cecil kind of already knew, and then like Nolan finds out that these dudes were bugging his house, right? And he just goes ballistic. He goes to the house next door, just starts killing them all. He like the dude with the big lips. I don't even know if they ever said his name. He like
The guy with the glasses.
yeah. They like grabs his back or
It's
whatever.
like he was about to press the button, and and I was like, no. At first, it was like he was about to press the button, and then he stopped for some reason. I'm like, does he have like telepathy or something?
Yeah.
I thought, no, but no, it was like he had actually like just reached inside of him or something, and then he was like, "It's a pleasure serving with you, sir." And he's like, "Who are you talking to?" And I was thinking, "Yeah, okay, he's about to self-destruct." He self-destructs the whole house, and
Yeah,
like Nolan just is like, "Whatever."
and he sees
Like, so he
William.
goes,
Oh, we skipped a couple of things, but it doesn't matter. We're just gonna be all
William.
over the place.
Well, William takes Amber home first,
Yeah,
and oh, oh boy, uh,
Mark.
Mark chases after her. I don't know. I've known this fucking. I've like 7 episodes in, and I still don't remember these characters' names. Okay, so um, Mark chases after Amber and uh, shows her that he's invincible, but she just like is like whatever. Like I already knew. It's like okay, well, fuck
Yeah,
off.
which by the way is like I kind of get where she's coming from, but at the
Yeah,
same time, it's just like you're putting yourself through this emotional stress and acting like this dude's just a big jerk when you could have it
yeah,
could have been at least a little bit solved when you she's like you make me feel like I'm unimportant. Well, you know the reason why, right? It's like, oh yeah, let me go on a date with my girlfriend, or like hundreds of or thousands of people are gonna die. Gee, I
you
wonder
kind of
one
like
which one I'm gonna pick. Like she could have
you
just
kind
been
of
like,
are unimportant.
yeah,
Like
she's really hard on him. It's like, I mean, I think that's like if you knew, right? Like if I had a girlfriend, I knew she was super person, right? I don't know. She had like powers. She was like a superhero. I'd probably be like, she's always late and stuff, and I'd be like, and like she'd be like trying to come up with these really bad lies, and I'd be like, hey, by the way, I already know that you're super person, so you don't have to keep lying. Just be like, hey, I'm about to go fight a monster. Cool, I'm gonna go chill at the crib. Like
yeah, like
I already know.
yeah, or at least just be like, just don't give her a hard time for the excuses, and maybe let her tell you in her own time.
Yeah,
That might be
yeah,
the best way to do it.
that might be a better way to do it. But
Just be like, okay, I
being
get
so
it.
hard on Mark, the fact that she knew and she just was like, I'm gonna treat him like crap anyway. I mean, it's almost like he's going out there and almost getting himself killed. Ah, gee, I don't know, right? Like it's almost like he's got
Yeah, like
more than enough to deal with. I don't know, some like almost dying sometimes. um, one time coming really close to death. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, she's being way too hard on him for somebody that. Okay, so so we can assume she's known for at least since he was supposed to show up to the soup kitchen, right?
yeah, right.
So that man looked like he got hit by a bus, so she can be like, oh, some supervillain beat the crap out of him. So it's like, do I A, be reasonable, or B, give this man a hard time? Which
Exactly, and I'm trying to figure out like what was where her headspace was, like why,
I can
and I don't really know.
I kind of see like she wanted to tell him. I mean, she wanted him to tell her, but like if you're gonna if you and you know the kind of person you are, if you know it's gonna, she should have just either broke it off early because she should have know. Like I feel like she figured it out. Probably the Mars one. I
Well,
would
she said
say
it was a few weeks ago.
a few weeks ago. Well, yeah, probably the Mars mission then. That felt like it was a
Maybe, yeah.
couple weeks ago. Maybe a little bit after that, but
Yeah, the Mars mission might have been like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. But like,
after that, it's like at that point, it's like okay, I
I
get
just
you
don't
want.
understand. I almost feel like it was lazy writing because of how she was. It seemed like she really believed that he just left. So it's like, why? Like, and when they went to the university,
Mhm.
it's like, why would she be?
She's crying, and oh,
Yeah,
yeah, she was crying, but like since you already knew that he was invincible, you should have been like, oh, sweet, Mark is right there saving
yeah.
people. So she's just yeah, I think that's pretty lazy. You know what? I didn't even think
Maybe
about
she
that.
didn't know what superhero he was, so
I mean,
maybe she
come on. I
didn't.
mean, she. So we can assume they've had sex before, right? She knows what this
Right.
man looks like naked. I mean, if you put,
Oh, I
if
don't know
you,
if she ever said.
but I mean, she's looking at Invincible pretty close up. I mean, I don't think it's that hard to tell that it's Mark. Like, if you put on,
Okay, that's
if
fair.
you put on like a mask and I can see your mouth and you have like sunglasses and I can see your hair, I kind of already know what you look like. So I'm like,
Yeah.
that's probably Evan or some white dude that looks kind of like him.
What? It's kind of like yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I
I
mean,
think you'd have to be white to look like me, wouldn't you? I mean,
that's not true. I
like
mean, it could be albino or something. I guess
yeah.
no, that they still
Okay.
look a little different than you, but It doesn't matter. Maybe they're a superhero. Maybe can shapeshift and they turn it. That's what I would do. I'd shapeshift if I was a superhero. I'd shapeshift into like a white dude,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
nope,
that
they'd
would be
be
the perfect.
yeah,
Nobody would ever suspect
yeah.
me.
And then I'm on top of
I
that.
would
I'd
be
be
like
wearing
an
a
Asian
mask.
woman or something.
Yeah, just something completely different, and then we wearing like a mask anyway, and they rip off the mask and be like, "Ah, I found you," and then they go looking for this person that just doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Well, you could use. What if you use like a different persona each time? So it was like a team or something.
oh yeah, that'd be
You thought it
crazy.
was a team. But I guess then maybe you wouldn't want to do that though. You probably stick to the one. But anyway, so yeah,
And then
Amber. But it seemed. But then Amber was like, I don't care, and so he just go, and so he goes, and then it's like she's kind of like, wait, like oh he actually went. Like she didn't expect him to actually go, which I've actually had women do to me.
yeah, they
But I don't play that. I just go.
yeah, I just go. I mean, I'm not gonna be. You're not gonna have me out here chasing you around. Like, just be
Yeah.
somewhat straightforward. I know people are not gonna be as straightforward all the time, but just a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
I'm stupid. Like, just throw me in, or like don't like I'm kind of dumb. Like, I'll just leave. Like, even if even if I'm not thinking about I'm not gonna play your game. Like, I'll literally
Yeah.
just leave because I'm not catching the hint. I'll just leave.
Oh, I see.
Like, I'm gonna
Well,
be like,
you
cool, all
gotta know
right,
your
bet.
limits.
Yeah, but you live and you learn. But anyway,
Uh,
away from my women problems, we'll talk about how Robot, or should I say, a young Rudy, we found out what he was doing and how Robot was essentially a drone, and that he was making a clone of
n-
of what's his name, Explo
Rex.
Rex Exploder. There you go, Rex Exploder. Yep, and
Now, do you remember what my prediction was?
uh, something like some like I don't know some movie thing that he's making like a robot army or something.
Okay, oh, that was one of them.
Okay, what was
But
the
the
other
other
one?
prediction was that he was originally a person who had uploaded his consciousness into the robot, and he wanted to create another body, like he had died from he was dying from cancer or something,
Yeah,
and he was creating another body to download his consciousness into, and that wasn't far off.
you weren't that far off. No, you were not.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, but so yeah, he was like this terribly deformed person, and then they made the clone of Rex, and then copied his consciousness into Rex's the new Rex body, and that was pretty cool. I liked the. It's kind of like how, like with transporters, like the way to teleport you, like it's not really the same you; it's a copy of you,
right.
and no one else would be able to tell the difference. It's kind of like that same thing.
Hmm.
And I kind of thought that it was cool what the blue people said. It's like, yeah, that's the point. No one should know who the original is because things get ugly.
Right.
And I just kind of was thinking about what I would like, how that would be interesting if I had just dominated the technology of cloning. I always had a clone with me, or like how they fought. They said the thing about fighting with your clone is you always know what the other one's thinking. That would just be very fascinating to have a clone of myself with me,
Right.
like split together.
That'd be crazy. Because then it'd be like that relationship that they have, where it's like, you never know. The original is the one that just doesn't die. And
Yeah.
honestly, you could assume, probably, which is what I'm assuming, that the original died like a long time ago.
Yeah, there
The,
is the original isn't there anymore.
yeah,
Because it's just if you just it's just a coin toss,
yeah,
and so it's just unlikely that the original would be the one that keeps surviving.
yeah.
Um,
But it was interesting seeing him fight them with his other like he has multiple robots um, that he uses. I mean, I kind of already knew that, but it's cool that he had like that like big like transformer esque robot. That was kind of cool. And then he
yeah,
was
that was pretty cool.
yeah, and then he was just like he was about to beat them too. Like they got their little weapon, and he was like, "All right, y'all don't have enough instruments in here to do that again." He just flew off to meet with the other Guardians of the Globe. At this point, Cecil is informing everybody, including the new team, the
Yeah, he
Guardians of the
said
Globe.
he said sit tight because you're our last hope against Omni Man. They kind of realized, oh, Omni Man killed the last one because they looked
Right.
at the stain.
Yeah.
Um, and also, Robot or whatever
Rudy.
explains Rudy explains to the people the situation. Like and it's like he's like autistic or something. He's like, yeah, and so this is I stole your DNA and then I made a clone and I downloaded my consciousness in. I copied my consciousness
Yeah,
from my
yeah.
old body into my new body because like why did you pick my body? Oh, because Monster Girl seemed to be attracted to your body and I wanted to get with Monster Girl. And I didn't really like detect that, but like I can see looking back on it now
You're
how
right.
he said like how he said I understand you because nobody sees you for who you really are because everyone sees her as a child but she's really not. Everyone sees him as a robot but he's really not. Um, I that kind of makes sense why there'd be that attraction. I thought it was kind of cute how she held his hand. Um, Eventually though, that's gonna get weird because he's gonna get older and she's gonna get
Keep
younger.
getting yeah, keep getting
You
younger.
know.
Um,
He's Woody's never had sex. I just realized that.
that's yeah, yeah. I guess you can assume that.
That's good. That'd probably be the first thing. That might be one of the first things he's doing. He's like, I'd probably never even been able to masturbate. He'd
Right,
probably go to the bathroom real quick. I want to see what's up with this. But or like he walks. I thought that was cool. It's like you showed how he walked, and it was like he was just like, wow, this is interesting because he had never done it before.
right,
Like I've thought about like what if I could be like put my brain in a spider or something? Like that would be amazing. It'd be like it would be like nothing you'd ever experienced
right,
before.
right, right.
But um, going back to the point of the video,
We also saw Mark chilling with
Mark
Eve.
with Eve kind of talking about the breakup,
Yeah,
and which is kind of funny. It's like how ridiculous how he just flies. I'm gonna go about 300 miles this way and just hang out with my friend next to a waterfall, which is cool. Then Nolan's on his way, and Cecil is just throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Nolan.
yeah.
He's got like this energy weapon that like just destroys half a town. He's like, no, he wouldn't. And all these ravens fall, and Nolan's just like a little scuffed up. Then he tries to do the energy weapon again, and Nolan destroys it. Um,
And then
then
Cecil
he
starts like teleporting around and talking to him.
Yeah,
Uh,
trying to like reason with him.
Well, I don't really think he's trying to reason with him. He's just trying to like, he just wants to know why. Because he was like, I know you didn't do it for like
Yeah.
sport or anything. There's a reason. What's the reason? Which they kept throwing that at you, right? They keep
Yeah.
throwing like, oh yeah, Nolan has his reason. There's his reason,
Trust
and
me.
he's about to say it, and then something happens, right? And then I like how cool it was when Cecil like got away and finally stopped doing it. That like Nolan got a bit of his tie. Like Nolan was that close to getting him.
Yeah, yeah. Like he was a split second away
Yeah,
from just dying. Um, which kind of showed how I kind of thought it was cool how it was almost like a horror movie.
right.
It was almost like a horror thing, but like Nolan, like Superman was the horror because it was like, where do you think he's coming next?
Yeah,
They were all like worried. But I think that the reason why new prediction. No, Nolan just said those guys were weak. Guardians of the Globe, those guys were weak. What if he knows about some greater threat that like threatens the galaxy or the planet, and he needs the heroes to be the creme de la creme, and he knew that the Guardians of the Globe, those guys weren't it. They needed stronger superheroes, so it was like this Darwinist thing of like, I'm gonna go kill all these people. They're weak. Then the strongest will
all
arise.
right. You know what? I haven't talked about any of your theories. I'm gonna tell you why that doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
The new Guardians of the Globe are like
Oh,
way
worse.
worse than the old
Yeah.
ones.
Well, he didn't. You wouldn't have been able to predict
Yeah, well,
that.
he found out though. He looked at them and was like, he was watching them train and stuff, and he was like pathetic, you know, like
Yeah.
he could have killed them way easier.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
maybe he just was. Maybe it was just a
like
miscalculation.
like dude, like I mean, I don't know if that was his plan, he would have. I think he would have thought it out a little better. Because it's
Okay.
like
Yeah. You're right.
you're picking like the bottom, and then he's not letting Mark join the team too. So you have the one guy who's like pretty good, and then it's like nah, you stay away.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Then I'm going back to my previous theory about the genocide. Anyway, um, but then it would make sense. Why would you marry one of them? Plenty of Nazis like did crazy stuff like that anyway. So.
Um,
Uh.
but they send the kaiju that we saw like
Yeah.
that what we heard about. I don't think we actually saw it.
We saw him finish.
Yeah,
It was like at the end.
but
Yeah.
they sent that and they were like, "Oh, it's stronger and it's mad at you, so we're gonna fight this." And then, oh, cool scene. The immortal, obviously, he comes back, and we're
I
shown
think
like
you're
a
skipping. You're skipping one.
what?
So they send like these pods from space that have like
Oh, the
these cyborgs
the
that were
cyborgs that
based off of
the Sinclair. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Like I think speaking Nazis, it was kind of like what they with the Nazis. You know, they were like, okay, you're just gonna you had a good idea here, but you're an asshole, so just gonna keep you locked up, but you're gonna kind of help us.
They could, if
Uh,
they sent a couple more. I mean, it could have done a lot more because they were beating that crap out of him.
yeah. It seemed, yeah. I mean, honestly, what they, it's like if they could have had them all, like if they wouldn't have, like they would have sent five of those guys and the kaiju. Obviously, Immortal wasn't necessarily planned, or I don't know if it was.
No, they didn't. They didn't expect. I don't think they expected him either that soon or just at all. They might not know that he's immortal because they were like,
Yeah.
well,
Well,
they
it implied that he's existed for like 1,000 years, because he had memories from like him
right,
being a knight and
but
stuff.
none of them existed for that. I'm not saying he's not immortal. I just said that they don't know.
I just think that Cecil would have looked into that.
Maybe,
Cecil knows.
but it was cool
But
that
anyway,
I can finally talk about him being Abraham Lincoln.
she was Abraham Lincoln himself.
Yeah, that was him. Remember, he was like looking at the flashbacks. He was like that caveman dude. Then he was a knight, and then it flashed back to Abraham Lincoln getting shot by John Wilkes Booth.
I just thought he just saw it, like he was just there.
No, he's actually Abraham Lincoln.
That's
he's
kind of funny.
yeah. That's like he doesn't just look like him for no reason. He's actually is just Abraham Lincoln.
How would he even like?
You're asking the wrong guy.
But you know what? He must be ridiculously old because he doesn't look like he's aged in like 10,000 years. So if we assume that he does age, that means he must be like 100,000 years old or something.
Maybe. I mean, I don't remember. Yeah, he must not. I don't think he ages because he looks the same as when he was like that caveman looking dude or whatever he was.
Unless something happened to him when he was a caveman.
Yeah, no, something happened. There was like that little blue portal looking thing, and then he touched it, and then he just
Oh,
can't age, can't die. But well, I mean, he can die,
well,
but
he
he
can
just
obviously
keeps
die, but
he just
he can
keeps
come
coming
back.
back. Like God, there's a Marvel character who can do that. I don't care right now. He's like
And so
yeah, but he's like
Immortal shows up.
he's like
I
yeah
was
he's like talking
thinking,
to the blue dudes and they're like oh snap this collar doesn't work or whatever and he's like where's Omni Man?
I was thinking that like maybe that wouldn't be the best idea. Like if I was in Immortal's position, maybe I'd be like, hey, this guy he killed me before. That was when I was with my team, so he's
Hey
probably gonna be able to kill me again.
hey man but he's a fighter. I
He's
mean
really angry.
when you're like a fighter type of person he's just not gonna give up. I mean
Yeah, I
he's
guess so.
he's not like a Batman kind of fighter where he's like he thinks about things. He's like
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to fight you, and I'm just gonna will myself to victory.
yeah.
Not the smartest
Which
thing, obviously, but
she almost does.
yeah,
Him and the kaiju kind of work together. I think Mark shows up, and he's like, "Oh my God, my dad needs help."
yeah, we'll have a
And then
team
they
up.
call out of me, even like, "Hey, you gotta don't come back to headquarters." Like,
Yeah,
what?
don't help
Don't
Mark.
worry about it.
Yeah,
Which I don't know. If I was out of me, I'd probably be like, "Fuck off, Cecil." Like,
yeah, but
Mark's
obviously,
my
but
friend. Like,
yeah, but obviously it's like, but he obviously knows something that she doesn't. So it's
and
like,
also she saw Immortal, so she was like, "Okay, well, Omni Man might have been the guy who killed him."
yeah, maybe.
Some part of just like maybe you should hedge your bets though, because if Omni Man's like I was thinking if I was on the Guardians of the Globe, would I really go up against him? I mean, he killed all the last ones. I mean, what's the point? Like, why?
Well, I mean,
Like, why?
then you're are you?
What's
I
the
mean,
point?
are you just gonna lay down and let him murder you anyway?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, well, maybe that wouldn't even matter.
Yeah, I think
Because if she's trying to kill everyone, then
yeah, I think I'd rather go out swinging on my own terms than just
yeah.
lay down and be like, all right, you got it. But the
And
the
so,
the immortal
oh,
shows
you
up
can
and
go.
they start beating him up, and then Omni Man's like, yo, you're back, uh, and then he just kills him again. Which I think is funny. I mean, we'll see
Not
him again.
before Omni Man, not before Immortal like
Yeah, yeah. Pokes
pokes
his
his
eyes.
eyes,
Yeah,
which is a good technique. in an emergency situation. I mean, if you really you really need to get out. People don't really defend their eyes that much, and they are pretty necessary for a fight. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely. So just do that, but or kick him in the
open the
nuts
eye.
if you have to.
Yeah,
But
that's true. But
um,
the eye is better for an escape. Well, whatever, doesn't matter. Um, and then they finish off the kaiju.
well, I
And
think they
said
finish off the kaiju
Invincible.
first, and then Omni Man like punches a hole through the
And
immortal.
everyone sees it. It's
Yeah,
like
everybody on
it's
Earth
on
sees it.
live on TV.
Yeah, Mark is like, "Yo, Dad, what's going on?" And then he turns around with his eyes still like bloodshot a little bit. He's like, "Yeah, Mark, we need to talk."
So much you don't know.
Yeah, they did a great
Yeah.
job with that episode, like teasing the review, but just not giving it to you without it feeling like kind of corny or forced. It seemed
Right.
yeah, it seemed like it had
Oh,
a purpose.
natural.
Yeah,
And I really liked it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Do we know how many episodes there will be? Will the next episode be the last episode?
the next episode will be the last episode of the series, and that's it.
Oh, no season two?
No, I'm just joking. There's definitely gonna be a season 2. I think with the reception it's gotten, and just the fact
We'll
that the
probably
comic
know.
book is really really long, there will be a season 2.
I was just thinking about something. I just remembered something. When Cecil, I think I like Cecil more, so I'm gonna say Cecil. When Cecil said, "I only know of one thing that might be able to fight Omni Man," I thought he was talking about I mean, I thought he was talking about Battle Beast. I thought he had connections, like he knew about Battle
Oh
Beast or
yeah,
something. He was like, "We might have to
that
call him up."
that would have been a good bet. I will say, Battle Beast. Obviously it's not the last time we see of him. He
Yeah,
he is. I mean, he's like at least top 5 or maybe like top 10 strongest characters in Invincible.
yeah.
I mean, I
Um,
think if we're going like by powers, like I think like Eve is like just based on like abilities, is just so easily ahead of everybody else. But like in
yeah.
a fight, obviously it's like Omni Man, Mark, Battle Beast. Well, I'll probably put Battle Beast like 2 right
Like it
now.
looks like that maybe if Mark was like it was like I don't know. I mean, Mark was kind of already beaten down. Wasn't really a fair fight.
Yeah, but
So like if it was just both of those guys, I don't know. Maybe Mark would have came out on top, especially if he had more training.
uh, I just from some of the later things I've seen, I kind of doubt it.
Oh, okay.
This man Battle Beast is insane.
I was thinking that like Mark needs to be needs to go train like with a jujitsu fighter and like a kung fu master and stuff. Like because if he could, because right now he's just like no training at all.
Right.
But if he was like, if he could actually was a good fighter without his powers, I mean he would be invincible. I mean he would be significantly more effective.
I think so, but also with
Just
we also
doesn't.
forgot to mention that Black Samson got his powers back. That's not really that relevant right now, but I think there also is a point where if the other person just has like way more power than you, and sometimes even way more power, way more size, like your skill's not really gonna do anything. Like at some point,
Yeah,
if they get their hands on you, it's kind of just over. And with
but I mean like that's why that's why he should get the skill for that, you know, high
it,
level people.
yeah, but it closes the gap a little bit. But like again, when you have people like if there's anybody out there potentially stronger than Omni Man, and he learns how to fight, he's still like at a disadvantage because he could be a better fighter than them, but then they might be faster than him, they might be stronger than him,
Yeah, that's true.
and like if I can just speed blitz you, it doesn't matter how good you are at fighting, you can't land a hit if I can just speed blitz you,
Like
or if I can,
Shang-Chi
yeah,
is not going to be able to beat the Flash. Or
right,
Quicksilver, I guess, because I mean, it's just he just can't do it.
right,
I mean, if the Quicksilver was couldn't use his powers, obviously, but not.
yeah. Maybe
Didn't matter
Shang Chi,
how good you are.
maybe Shang Chi just leaves his foot out for a second and trips him. I don't know.
So that would be cool. Whoa, look, because if you go, I mean, if you're going that fast, I mean, a trip might kill you, right? I mean, you could break your neck.
Right.
You're going 800 miles an hour. But I don't know. None of it, I think that like your skin might be ripped off and stuff. If you go fast enough too. Anyway,
Yeah. They
so I don't know how
I
they
think the Speed
explain that.
Force with the Flash protects him. I don't know how it works with Quicksilver. Cause there's a never mind. I won't get into that.
Yeah.
But
But
I think
I'm pretty excited to see what happens.
yeah, next episode
I'm
it's gonna go down,
The
brother.
biggest question is how Mark will react,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I want to say, oh, Mark is just gonna be like, oh, well, Dad, you're obviously wrong, but he was more idealistic in the beginning, but as time has gone on, he's become more and more disillusioned, right?
I don't think that's true. He's still pretty naive to the inner workings of the world, and also he's just like a pure-hearted kind of guy. Like I mean,
Yeah,
Spider Man, for example, is a guy who knows like the world is pretty messed up, and and if he had to make that kind of choice to team up with Omni Man and destroy the world, he still wouldn't do it, right? And
yeah,
Mark is that kind of guy. I think Mark is just he's always he is what you get what you get with Mark. You know, he's just gonna be he's a Boy Scout, and that's I mean it's okay, but
yeah,
he's kind of a Boy Scout. He's not gonna at least I don't know. He's more of a Boy Scout, so I couldn't see him doing that. Like if I'm watching the show, right, and I just think it would make too much sense for him to do it because he is who he is. He's a good-hearted kid. I can't say kid. I mean, I'm a little older than Mark. Let me flex that a little bit. Technically,
yeah.
little high school
It's not
boy,
no
little high school kid. I used to bully your kind.
kid. I still do. I go to the high school.
Beat them down a little bit.
Are you? Was there ever a guy? Was there ever a guy who had graduated who went to your high school like at lunch and stuff?
A few times. Yeah, yeah.
I've never got since I graduated. I've never even been on the property of my high school.
Me neither. I haven't even been near my high school since I graduated.
I've driven by it a few times just because it's, you know.
This is where I used to rule these halls, man.
This is my home.
I
Like
haven't
those
been by
guys.
it. I haven't been by for any reason. But also our high school's kind of like out the way of anything I need to be near, so I just don't go
No,
over
yeah,
there.
that's true. Yeah.
I've been by like other high schools in the area, but that one's just like kind of out the way, so it's like no point in me going over there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that might complete the review here.
That's a wrap, everybody.
You. Once you scroll down, you tap that subscribe button. Tap that bell button too. Every time we upload a video, I want you to see it. I want you to be notified that video is uploaded, and I want you to watch it. Something else I want you to do. I want you to go in the description of this video. Give us some money. Follow us on Twitch. You see us on Twitch? Tune in. Watch us live. Talk to us. You want to talk to us? There's a Discord link there too. Connect with us.